Okay, so here we are. It's December 17th, 2012. Just a quick clip to show you that we have the motor working here for CPA's MRC system. What I've got here is I've got my laptop set up as a terminal emulator so I can talk directly to the Quicksilver. And we've got the Techware screen is there. We've got the Techware up there with a diagnostics terminal on it, and then here is all the Quicksilver hardware on the floor here, including the controller and everything, and then in the center of that circular cable, that's the actual motor itself. So just want to point out a couple of things. When you start out and you go to the screen and it's talking normally, what we see here is on the little Quicksilver, I'm looking at the silver unit with the little LEDs. It's kind of hard to see because the focus is not great, the lighting is poor, but the green LED should be on solid and the red one should be pulsing. The pulsing, it happens every time there's communication with the Techware. When it's just sitting in an idle state or it's going from move to move, that's its normal normal state of affairs. Occasionally that green light goes out if you're just jogging it left and right, which I'll show you in a minute. But anyways, the way you can check that if the communication is working is if you go to this screen here, which again it's this maintenance screen with all the arrows on it. If you go to this screen and that red LED is not pulsing, then the communications is not set up correctly between the Quicksilver and the Techware. Either the port connect speed is not 9600 baud, or the cable's not hooked up correctly, or something like that. Anyways, now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to jog the motor so I can show you that it's actually turning. I'm going to do that with these buttons here under where it says carriage, where it says left and right. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to do this one-handed, so it's a bit awkward, but every time I click on this button, I'm upping the carriage speed by 10 centimeters per minute, I think, or inches per minute, something like that. I can't remember the scale, but anyway, see, every time I click it, it goes 60, 70. It's minus because I'm going in the right direction. But we can see on the motor over here, it's got a piece of tape attached to it, so you can see that the motor is actually turning. And let me just go ahead and stop that here. And I'll just get that stopped. Alright. So now, what you'll see also on the screen, just one other thing I want to point out, when you go to put this all back together again, I'm assuming all the recipe information as far as the encoder positions and all that kind of stuff, I've recovered those from the hard drive, so they should be intact and ready to go. But what you'll need to do is you'll need to home the motor, and if I recall, the way you do that is you use those left and right carriage buttons here to jog the carrier all the way to the right over the etch platform to approximately where you would think, I think they call it position 7, or the rightmost position where the etch platform will go up and down. Anyways, usually it's about, I don't know, about a quarter inch or so from the right-hand side of the tool on the inside. And then when you want to do that, you'll have an option to go and actually tell the thing, or tell the computer that now you're at home. It considers that the 0 position as far as where the encoders are. And you can see right now, since I've been moving it manually, the encoder position, it says, is at minus 109,000. So let me go ahead and I'll show you. When you've moved it manually and you've got it to where it needs to go, you go onto this screen here, and you go to this button, and there is an option that says, one of the options here is at home. Go home means it'll actually send it to where it thinks its 0 position is. But when you are aligning it, you choose at home, and then you say OK. Down at the bottom here, and then you hit the go to button, and what that's done now is you see the encoder position has been reset to 0. That's maintained in the Quicksilver, so it now thinks it's at home. So now you'll be able to tell it to go to one of the other positions, like position scan 2 or something like that, and then it'll go ahead and it should move there. Now, like I said, if you've got it all hooked up, sorry, I'm just moving around here. If you've got it all hooked up and it's working properly, you should see that little red light is flashing over there. I'll show you when you're jogging it using those big buttons up on the screen under the carriage, like this one here. And again, here you can see the motor is adjusted. You can see that the motor is moving. and the green light goes out and it just flashes. I don't know all the details of why it does that, but that's normal operation for the Quicksilver controller. So again, that's showing that the motor is moving. Let me just go ahead and I'll stop that real quick. Now, and we can see here, because I've been moving it manually, now the encoder position has gone back up to 46,900. The last thing I want to say is that if you need to get in and look at low-level diagnostics, this will be only for if you and I are talking over the phone, but there will be a screen, a diagnostic screen I'll tell you to go to. What that will be is, you see at the bottom here, there's the buttons that says Maintenance, Alarm, and Utilities. We're in the Maintenance subsection right now, and I apologize for the glare. This is, camera's having a hard time auto-adjusting here, but I'll click on the Utilities, which is down here. And then we'll go to, oops, that was the wrong one, sorry, I hit Alarms. We'll go to Utilities here. And it will go to this black and white PAL screen. I know we've been back and forth on the computer talking about going to this screen, so I won't go over how to get there. But the idea is, if you go to one of the test screens, it's called SilverMax Test. And if I go into the screen subsection here, sorry again, I'm bouncing around, I'm trying to do this myself. But basically, it's a diagnostic screen. I think it's called Silver_E is the name of it. I can't see it. The computer screen is not auto-sizing correctly. But it's got all of the real low-level information for the system. You can go in and check out all the things that are coming back from the controller, as far as like the encoder position, but also things like in the upper right corner here, it says, I can't see it, but it says, let me try to adjust the contrast on the camera here. But anyways, in the upper right corner here, you can't see it, but it actually says sorry about this, ES_COM_STAT is online. If the driver's talking, it should say online, otherwise it'll say offline. Down at the bottom here, it says ES_INT_STATUS. That's the interior or internal register status is -226. Again, little things like that. If you need to talk to your SilverMax guy, you might be able to get some information out of him or you might be able to get some information here to pass along to him. But anyways, there you go. That's a quick summary of the system. Like I said, we've got it up and working now, so hopefully I'll get that shipped out to you ASAP.